Claire's story begins in a laboratory, not a gym. She was an endurance physiology student volunteering for an experimental serum designed to accelerate muscular recovery. It was meant to rebuild muscle fibers in hours instead of weeks. The initial goal: help soldiers recover faster from injuries. Claire wasn't interested in military applications. She wanted to prove the body could surpass its limits through science, not genetics. The first injection went unnoticed. Minor soreness, faster post-workout recovery. On day 2, her grip strength increased by 12%. On day 3, the scale showed a 3-kilogram increase on muscle. She assumed measurement error, but her shirts fit tighter, sleeves stretching around arms that hadn't been trained for days. By day 5, growth accelerated. Her deltoids swelled, veins rising beneath skin that pulsed with heat. The body had entered a loop, recovering, rebuilding, and overcompensating continuously. Within a week, Claire's physique had shifted from athletic to monstrous. Each movement carried density. Her reflection no longer resembled the quiet researcher, but a living anatomy chart in motion. Every muscle was alive, contracting subtly even at rest. When she tried to sleep, her metabolism refused rest. Calories burned through her bloodstream like fuel in an engine. She consumed double her weight in food daily, yet still woke lighter, harder, hungrier. Her mentor, Dr. Kello, analyzed her data in silence. "The serum's regulating enzyme isn't degrading," he said finally. "Your body is synthesizing more of it." In effect, Claire's cells had learned to mass-produce the serum's catalyst. S9X was no longer an additive, it had become a genetic rewrite. The growth reached a visible threshold. Muscles expanded in pulses, fibers splitting and reforming stronger with each cycle. Bones thickened to bear new weight. Claire's posture adjusted unconsciously to the expanding framework. Her voice deepened slightly, resonance carrying through her chest like a low vibration. Clothes shredded every few hours. Her laboratory uniform became a memory. She wore stretch fabric and lab aprons like bandages against an evolving form. By day 10, normal activity became impossible. Door frames, chairs, and desks were incompatible with her size. Yet she refused sedation. Her reasoning was sharp, detached. Stopping now would destroy the data. "I need to see the limit." Dr. Keller's objections failed against her clarity. Cameras recorded every shift, pectoral separation increasing, quadriceps expanding, traps merging upward into her neck. At night, pain overtook fascination. Muscles grew even during rest, pressing against organs, stretching skin to near translucent tension. She gasped under the pressure, body steaming from the metabolic furnace within. Her pulse sounded like hammer strikes. The serum's formula had removed all off switches. Her physiology now obeyed only growth feedback. Stimulus created tissue, and tissue created more stimulus. The cycle fed itself. On day 12, Claire's heart rate stabilized at 200 beats per minute without distress. Blood oxygen saturation held steady. She was no longer bound by human limits. Keller documented everything. Her muscle density surpassed measurable range. Magnetic resonance imaging returned incomplete, too much interference from hyperdense tissue. Her power output during resistance testing shattered equipment rated for industrial hydraulics. Then the mental divergence began. Cognitive centers altered to sustain metabolic control. Her awareness extended beyond nerves into chemical rhythms. She could feel glucose convert to ATP, sense her mitochondria firing like turbines. She became intimately aware of every contraction, every cell division. The experience was both ecstasy and torment, complete embodiment without rest. She isolated herself. Communication reduced to short, functional exchanges. More protein, temperature low, record phase shift. By day 5, Keller initiated containment procedures. Her size exceeded 2 meters, her weight unmeasurable due to structural limits. Yet mobility remained perfect. Every motion was efficient, devoid of waste. But the serum's autonomy surpassed containment. Claire's sweat carried active compounds. When exposed to air, they crystallized microspores capable of replication. No worse, her cell membranes altered their structure, rejecting foreign molecules entirely. Her last recorded test was voluntary confinement in a pressure chamber. Sarikis did 50 atmospheres of containment pressure. It failed. The growth continued, slow but relentless, compressing against reinforced walls until metal groaned. The feed cut out at 3:26 a.m. When Keller re-entered at dawn, the chamber was ruptured from within, walls folded outward like petals. Claire stood at the center, breathing slow.com. Her proportions had stabilized, not smaller, not human, but balanced. Every muscle group aligned perfectly. Functional symmetry achieved through force, not design. She said one sentence. It's equilibrium now. Then she left the facility on foot, steps leaving depressions in the asphalt. Keller followed until she crossed into the forest. Beyond that, no trace. Post-event analysis found the surrounding vegetation altered, cell walls thickened, stems fibrous, leaves glossy and venomous. Airborne spore traces detected in a 12-kilometer radius, inert but persistent. Keller's final note classified her as both subject and vector. Biological evolution in motion, non-reversible. Weeks later, satellite imagery captured a heat bloom deep within the mountain stems, rhythmic, expanding slowly outward. No human could verify. The pattern matched respiration cycles. Growth continued underground, distributed through organic matter, feeding off carbon and oxygen alike. Claire had transcended the framework of fitness, competition, or human aspiration. Her body had become processa, self-sustaining equation. She no longer needed to train, eat, or rest. Every motion generated energy for further expansion. No chemical equilibrium could contain her. Keller's final hypothesis remained sealed in classified archives. The serum S flaw was not in design but in success. It revealed growth as nature's dominant law. Given freedom from decay, all matter seeks form beyond limitation. Monde passé. Forests surrounding the lab thickened unnaturally. Roots intertwined with concrete, absorbing metal into organic structures. Wildlife adapted, musculature enhanced. Reaction speed doubled. The mutation wasn't spreading like disease, but rewriting the ecosystem toward efficiency. Claire had become its nucleus, unseen yet active, an unseen architect beneath the soil. No further human contact occurred. The government sealed the region, labeling it a biohazard exclusion zone. Drones sent for observation returned images of towering trees with muscle-like striations under bark, moving slightly with the wind as if flexing. Energy signatures suggested metabolic processes on a planetary scale. Claire's voice was recorded once more through seismic sensors, carried through vibration, not sound. 4 words only. It doesn't stop growing. Her story ends there. No closure, no reversal. The experiment succeeded beyond scope. Growth became continuity. The body became landscape. The human form became blueprint for an expanding system that refused stasis. Claire was no longer a subject. She was evolution itself.